The Kent State
School of Fashion is teaming up with the Ronald McDonald House. Coming up, how the two organizations are teaming up for a good cause.
In KSU's Student Center, a discussion panel is taking place following the screening of a film focused on the experience of black women. A reporter has the details.
The latest updates on the monster storm system that California the last few days, how officials in the state are trying to support their residents.
A revolutionary legal decision has been made involving the parents of school shooters and how this Michigan court's decision could affect the future.
This is TV2 News.
Start tonight on campus with a look at how the School of Fashion is trying to make a difference.
They're teaming up with the Ronald McDonald House to help people in need. Our very own Skylar Eddington has the latest. Skylar?
Hi guys, that's right. The Kent State Fashion School has partnered with the Ronald McDonald House to create an event that they feel will make a large impact.
the Ronald McDonald House to host a fashion show where students can show off their designs for a good cause.
I mean, the beauty of this event, and I've said this to people have asked me, is that the school prides itself that we are a community.
I'm redoing it tonight, though,
and that our events are very student run, and we champion our students to take ownership and be authentic to who they are.
The Ronald McDonald House is an organization that financially funds and houses families whose children are suffering from long-term illnesses.
We had seen the signage, like we had used the family room several times while we were in the hospital to kind of step away from his bedside, but we had been encouraged to reach out to use their services to stay at the house, and we did.
The event will have a runway where students, staff, and alumni can show off their designs. All ticket sales and raffle drawing funds will go to the house. One designer shares how surreal it is to see her work showcased at this event.
Definitely seeing it come down the runway, like that's the most exciting part. It makes all the hard work before worth it. I was like, oh my god, I made these. And looking back, I'm still like super proud. So the best part is seeing it come down the runway.
Vaji was so moved by her experience at the Ronald McDonald House that her and her husband decided to join the planning committee for the fashion show and other Ronald McDonald events.
All of these events that Ronald McDonald House puts on brings such a positive energy, and it's for such a great cause. Like it just fills the room with so much energy. Like it's not going to disappoint. It's going to be a night.
Don't forget, the event is this Thursday at the Cleveland Convocation Center. Tickets can be bought online to attend the event. Reporting for TV2, I'm Skylar Eddington. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Skylar. And keeping things on campus, our reporter Lex Rady was able to attend a film screening that talked about a filmmaker's experience as a black woman in the United States.
Lex, what can you tell us about the film and the event that went on today?
Well, right now in the ballroom balcony of the Student Center, a discussion panel about the daily life of pregnant women and the increase in mortality rates among African American babies is taking place. This discussion panel was prompted by the screening of the short film Toxic, a black woman's story produced in Cleveland and being presented by Jasmine Lawn.
Toxic, a black woman's story, talks about how an everyday experience and the lived experience of a black woman can lead to the loss of an infant. Our work is really centered on infant mortality and how racism and everyday microaggressions lead to poor birth outcomes for African American women, and how infant mortality is a major crisis in North.
The event was sponsored by Kent State's Anti-Racism and Equity Institute, and the film itself was produced by the Group Parent and Infant Loss Committee. The goal of this film was to change society's perspective over miscarriages. The film talks about how miscarriages can happen to anyone despite their current health condition, and provided a space for people who have experienced a miscarriage to share their stories.
So it's not something that I've created. It's not something that one person has created. It's something that the community came together and said, hey, we are actually people who have lost an infant. And we want to actually show our experience. And we want individuals to understand that it's not something that just happens to people who don't care. It's not something that just happens because we were careless. It's something that happens to every.
People gathered at 3:30 to watch the screening of the film and stayed for a panel discussion led by Jasmine. The group discussed issues that pregnant Black women in Northeast Ohio face due to racism and microaggressions.
This is important because there are so many misconceptions about infant loss. And what this film does is it shows that you can do everything right and you can still have an adverse outcome, because what you can't control are the factors that attack you every day. And so that's what this film sets out to show. A very short film that has a very high impact.
As of right now, the film can only be previewed through a screening, but will hopefully make its way online in the near future. For TV2 News, this is Lex Rady.
The one-year anniversary of Norfolk's Southern train derailment in East Palestine is approaching. The College of Public Health is hosting guest lecturer Wes Vins to discuss the environmental health response of the East Palestine train derailment. Vins will discuss how government agencies work to help East Palestine in the aftermath of the derailment. The event will take place at 12:30 on Wednesday, February 7th in the Moulton Hall Ballroom.
Students who are graduating this spring or just looking for an internship this summer had the chance to kickstart their career journeys. The Career Exploration and Development Center held a summer job and internship fair this afternoon. Students had a chance to meet with a wide range of professionals as well as network with career professionals and recruiters. Career advisors were also there meeting with students.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all got a second to enjoy some of the beautiful sunshine today. And with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for the rest of this evening here in Kent. 28 degrees is going to be our temperature this evening with clear skies. Winds will be pretty light, right around northeast at 4 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, 26 degrees, right around 6 a.m., pretty chilly in the morning. You're definitely going to want to stay bundled up on your way to class. Noon, however, will bring us up to 44, so we're getting a little bit of that warmer sunshine and temperatures here into our area. 42 right around 6 p.m. for tomorrow. And for the later in the show, I will give you the full rundown on what you guys can expect for the next 7 days. Back to you, Tyler.
A family of 4 was taken to the hospital early this morning after an overnight house fire at 3 a.m. Firefighters were dispatched to the house and dealt with the catastrophe. The father of the family is found in critical condition, with the conditions of the other 3 remaining unknown. It is important to note that no smoke alarms were found in the home. If you're unsure your alarms at home are working, it is never a bad idea to check.
3 people, including a Cuyahoga Heights police officer, are still recovering after a crash that happened early last night. Cuyahoga Heights police say a police chase started shortly after midnight and ended with the crash that sent people to the hospital. A tire deflation device had to be used, and police say the vehicle swerved into oncoming traffic in a last-ditch effort to get away. 3 patrol cars have been damaged as a result.
Legendary rock band Creed has recently announced an extension to their tour after, quote, overwhelming fan demand, end quote. This extension will include a performance in Cleveland's Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse on November 22nd with special guests 3 Doors Down and Mammoth WVH. Tickets go on sale starting this Friday, 3 days from now. I might try and grab one myself and let them take me higher. Stay tuned to hear the court's decision that could change many cases in the future regarding a Michigan mother whose son went on to take the lives of several of his classmates.
And much of California is still underwater following the monster storms from earlier this week. What officials in the Golden State are dealing with is still to come.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Hi, welcome back. A federal civil rights lawsuit filed by 24 arrested in Akron protesters has been settled. After the 2022 police shooting of Jalen Walker, demonstrators who gathered peacefully became victims of unnecessary violence and a mass arrest by officers. They sued those officers on the grounds that their constitutional rights had been violated and recently won their case, earning $45 million in damages.
A potential new precedent was just set in Michigan after the court ruled a mother guilty of manslaughter for failure to prevent their child from committing a school shooting. This conviction was based on Jennifer Crumbly failing to react to multiple alarming signs, such as drawings of school shooting, writings of intent to shoot up the school, claiming to see demons, and training with a firearm.
The worst of the storm seems to have passed in California, but major rainfall is still forecasted in many cities across the state.
Los Angeles is still under a flood watch along with San Francisco and San Diego. The storms across the Golden State have left many streets flooded, homes damaged, and have even caused landslides. Many residents are also still without power tonight.
Now, Aaron, excuse me.
No,
but I know that's all on the other side of the coast, but do you think any of that rain's going to trickle on over to us?
You know, we might see coming up in the next few days some slight wintry mix as those temperatures dropped later after towards this weekend. But we haven't really had a lot of storms over here recently. We've just had some fluctuation between rain, snow, sunshine, and some varying temperatures, which we're going to get to in our 7-day forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the temperatures here in Northeast Ohio and get you guys that 7-day forecast. Up in Sandusky, 39 degrees with 39 in Cleveland and 38 in Ashton-Beulah. Here in beautiful Kent, 40 degrees like I had mentioned earlier, with just a little bit farther east in Youngstown at 44 and 44 in Canton, 46 in Worcester and 44 in Mansfield. Now let's go ahead and expand and look at the rest of our state. Those temperatures are going to be right around that 30 to 40 degree mark with 46 in Lima, 47 in Dayton and 48 down in Cincinnati. They always tend to be a little bit warmer than us up here. 48 degrees in Columbus with 45 in Athens, 44 in Steubenville, and 43 in Akron. Now, what everyone's been waiting for, our 7-day forecast and what we can expect coming up for the week ahead. For tomorrow, temperatures are going to be right around 52 with partly cloudy skies. Mainly some sunshine will be peeking through around the mid-afternoon. High of 52, low of 33. 56 on Thursday with some partly cloudy skies, and 58 degrees on Friday. Going into that weekend and Friday evening could be a wonderful time to go out and have a little bit of a warmer temperature change for once. This weekend, though, we're going to get into some of that rain that we might be getting from those storms on the other coast. Saturday will bring us a high of 52 with some rain showers throughout all of the majority of the day. Partly cloudy on Sunday with 44 before we slowly start to drip back down into those high 30s, low 40s for next week with a rain and snow mix on Monday, and Tuesday being 39 with a low of 27. And that is all for your Tuesday evening weather report. Make sure to stay up to date with all news and weather stories at kentwired.com. Enjoy the next few days. At the desk.
Thank you, Aaron. King Charles III has cancer and will be stepping back from public duties. That comes just 1 year after his coronation.
And it is prompting unity in the royal family. Max Foster has the details.
Buckingham Palace announcing that King Charles III has been diagnosed with a form of cancer, just over a week after undergoing a corrective procedure for a benign enlarged prostate. The palace outlining that during that procedure, a separate issue of concern was caught, resulting in the diagnosis. The type of cancer hasn't been specified, but a source tells CNN that it's not prostate cancer. The statement released by the palace revealed that the British monarch has already commenced a schedule of regular treatments and announced that he'll postpone public-facing duties as advised by his doctors. Monday's statement also saying that Charles decided to share his diagnosis to prevent speculation and help spread awareness for those affected by cancer. The King will also continue state business and official paperwork as usual as head of state, with CNN hearing that he'll continue his weekly audience with the British Prime Minister. CNN also understands there are no current plans to appoint councillors of state, which refers to designated members of the royal family who are delegated the monarch's duties temporarily if he becomes too unwell. The public would be told if that were to change. The diagnosis, less than a year into Charles's reign, also becoming a moment of unity for the royal family. CNN is learning that Queen Camilla is preparing to play an important role during this time, continuing her full programme of public duties. Kensington Palace also announcing earlier in the day that the Prince of Wales would return to public duties this week, after taking time off to support his wife, Kate, after recovering from her recent abdominal surgery. Meanwhile, Prince Harry set to fly back to the UK in the coming days to visit his father. The family, despite their fractures over the last few years, coming back together amid this crisis. Max Foster, CNN.
Good afternoon, Portage County. I'm Anthony Leonardi, and there's a lot going on in the world of consumers, and I have the latest details for you. In January alone, about 24,000 tech workers lost their jobs, and the popular social media platform Snapchat is one of the latest tech companies to cut their staff in 2024. They are laying off about 500 employees, which is about 10% of their global workforce. The last time the company had major cuts, they laid off around 20% of the staff and restructured business lines in August of 2022. And if you guys are like me, air travel can be very uncomfortable sometimes. And Southwest Airlines' newest aircraft plans will revamp their cabins next year. The new interior design will include seats with an adjustable headrest and larger under-seat space. There will not be seat-back screens, but they will offer free entertainment that is accessible on personal devices. And sticking with air travel, a report from the National Transportation Safety Board said that key bolts were missing from the door plug in a Boeing blowout on an Alaskan Airlines flight. In the report, investigators observed that there was a lack of damage to the plug, and that pointed to a conclusion that they were missing during the incident. Nobody was seriously injured, and the plane landed safely at the Portland International Airport. And that's all I have for you guys today on the Consumer Watch. For more updates, be sure to keep up with us at kentwire.com. I've been Anthony Leonardi, TV2 News.
Ice cream, but just a little bit more posh. Today is, of course, National Froyo Day, and we'll give you the scoop on how to celebrate coming up.
And later on your sports report, do the Cavaliers continue on their phenomenal win streak against the Sacramento Kings? This and more local sports headlines.
An old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear. Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.com.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Basketball players at Dartmouth University will soon be able to vote on whether to join a union. They were initially barred from this by those who claimed they were not employees, as they did not receive financial compensation.
But after it was pointed out, they received unique access to items, personnel, facilities, and tickets. They were granted the opportunity to decide their union membership on their own. You know, Dom, speaking of basketball, I know the men's basketball in the sports block today.
Well, we will get to that, but right now we're going to zoom in a tad closer to some sports updates around Northeast Ohio. I'm Dom O'Brien, and let's get a glance at some updates at the T-Box, evidently. The women's golf team went on to Orlando, and where they played in the UCF Challenge. First year Veronica Kedronova finished top 10 individually for the second time in her career. Kedronova shot a 67 through 18 holes, which tied the best individual score of the day. While she finished tied for 6th over 3 days of action, the Golden Flashes as a whole tied for 10th as a team at +4. Kent State will have a 2-week break until they take on the Spartan Suncoast Invitational hosted by Michigan State. We move from there and we go over to college basketball, and that's the Kent State Golden Flashes. It's nearly half an hour until the men's basketball team will play Western Michigan for the first home game of the month. The Flashes are coming off of a 31-point victory against the Buffalo Bulls, which set them back to an even record on the season. As for the Broncos, they are on a 3-game losing streak, sitting at 8-14. Their most recent loss was by 10 points against Ball State this past weekend. This has the looks of a pretty tight game being held at the Mack Center. And we go from college to pros. That's right, we have the Cavaliers versus the Sacramento Kings. As we started with Donovan Mitchell midway through the first quarter, Donovan Mitchell is going to draw the foul and get the three-point bucket to make it 15-14 so far, Cavs. They're up by 12 here. Mitchell, one-hand pass over to Allen. Jared Allen with the one-hand slam over Sabonis as he takes it there on the other end. The Cavs continuing it around from Merrill. Here's Mitchell for three, gets it again, and extends this lead. They had the lead for basically the entire game, but on the other side, Harrison Barnes trying to get a three from the top of the key. Good shot there as he tries to get his team back into this game. But you're going to have to look at this play and say, where did he want to go with the ball? To himself. That's where. Off the glass. You don't really see this too much. We've seen it a couple times over the course of the season, but not from Donovan Mitchell, as he gets the slam dunk off the glass to himself, blows by Herter, as the Cavs win 136-110, and they now have the second seed right now in their conference, right behind the Boston Celtics. But that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching and joining me through this walk through sports in Northeast Ohio. I've been Dom O'Brien, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Dom. And a very unique find in New York. After the break, we're going to tell you a touching story about an old school project.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
A message in a bottle written in 1992 by students at a Long Island high school was discovered after washing up on a beach. And the family of the teacher who assigned the class project revealed in its surfacing a photo of the bottle's message. This photo went viral, with alumni using it as a chance to remember the beloved teacher who had assigned that project. That teacher's family has said online the community's show of support was unreal and shared stories about their loved one.
I hope your sweet tooth is ready for some frozen goodness, because today is National Frozen Yogurt Day. For the rest of today, tons of promos have popped up in Froyo shops across the states, including a buy one get one free deal from Sweet Frog that you can check out in nearby Stowe. Ice cream is great now and then, but I would down a pint of Froyo any day, and right now, there is no better occasion.
Huge.
It is fantastic, and let me tell you, red is the best flavor. It's got strawberry, it's got cherry, it's got maybe apple. Never tried an ice cream, but I'm sure it's great. And I won't be accepting any counter-out points, but I will hear them.
That's a take, but I'm not going to explain my take because I don't really care what flavor I get. I'm just going to go Sweet Frog right after this and get some Froyo, because now you got my sweet tooth going, for sure.
Absolutely, I agree. You know, frozen yogurt, it's usually not what I go to during like this kind of like temperatures and it being so like cold out. Usually it's more of like a summer thing. But I think since it's National Frozen Yogurt Day, I might have to join you, Dom, and get some frozen yogurt after this.
You know, I love red, but I think my favorite flavor would be blue. But that is all the time we have for this Tuesday evening newscast. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Noah Rowe.
And I'm Tyler Schlosser. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have a good night, Portage County.
How's your hair? Is it pretty?
Daddy.
It's pretty.
Maybe I'll say that. Maybe I'll say that.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.